Here we are live. We are live. And welcome everyone to Food for Thought. It's our monthly. We are very happy to have wonderful guests tonight with another great topic for all of you. Tonight's topic, it's all about big goals achieved, big or tiny goals achieved. And now what? Now what? So tonight we're going to talk about that. And we have wonderful guests. A repeating guest from the United States, from Port Huron, Lorrie MacGilvray, and also down in the left corner, I hope I'm getting that right. I guess that's the first time we have you live here, James LaTrobe-Bateman, and both of them are ReModel International. So let's talk about the wonderful topic that we have tonight for all of you. And of course, we have Tim and Chris down in the right corner, and up in the left corner, right next to me in the middle, we got Ian Miller. Ian Miller, and you look very exotic over there.
Thank you very much, Julianne. It is actually a part of Puerto La Cruz.
Oh, is it? Oh, yes, it is. Lagos Marcianes, no?
Correct.
That's it.
Yes.
Wonderful. So let's see who we all have here in the chat. And let's say hello to everyone. We have Ian at home and Ian on Tenerife and Ian on screen. Wow. Triple Ian. Then we've got It's Craig, and we've got Evie Blue and Marie Elton. Hello, everyone. And more people are just popping in. I can see that. We have 12 people watching at the moment. And as it's our monthly, we always do that every first Wednesday of the month, Food for Thought. If you are into personal development, self-development, holistic health, and improving yourself and certain life situations, then you're spot on right here at the right place and with the right crowd, I guess. So let's see tonight's topic, big goal achieved, and now what? I guess you can also identify, a lot of you in the chat, with that topic. Some of you might have set goals and achieved them throughout your lifetime, and then maybe came up with the same question. And now what? What do we do now? What's going on? Do we keep going, or do we just lay back and relax, or what is it all about? I'm going to raise the typical question that I ask every single time to all of our guests. Yes, why did you come up with that topic? I'm always curious about that. Lorrie, would you like to start? Or Claire?
Lorrie, do you want to answer the question while I just sort the dog out?
Okay, thank you.
We're live.
She's decided we're both on this, so she's going to make her voice heard as well.
Yes.
So
I think there was a dog barking here as well. That must have set them off if you're not wearing earphones.
James,
I'm going to mute us.
Yeah, James wasn't wearing earphones. I have mine in. It's live, right? Of course. Big goal achieved. Why did we come up with that topic? It's something that we're asked quite often, I think, is probably one of the reasons. Two things are asked. We live together, we work together, we're life partners. How do we do that? And also our big goals that we've had, that we set together and we achieve them. We had a huge goal that we worked on for a lot of years, and that was to live in Fuerteventura in the Canary Islands. And we had been going there about 20 years, and we bought a place there, and then we lived there for several years, and we achieved our big goal. And after we got there, it was the question kept coming up. Now what? We've done it. And we hadn't set the next big thing. We had been so focused on achieving that we hadn't really been looking ahead and setting the next thing. And we learned since then that, I mean, that's the thing that you have to keep doing. You have to have the next thing ahead of you, because when you do achieve it, there's this big void of like, oh my gosh, we've done it. We've done it. We're here. So that was talking with Ian, talking with you. That's a topic that's really huge, especially for people that are setting these big goals. And you really have to be of the mindset that it isn't the end goal. It's just part of the journey. And what's the next part of the journey, and where to from here? And that's how we ended up talking about this, that this is the topic that we would be talking about today.
That's wonderful. And yes,
Can I add some things to what Lorrie said?
Yes, of course.
We actually didn't set out to go to live in Fuerteventura, actually. The original goal, which was part of the deal when we got together, was to look for a warm, sunny island somewhere. We weren't as specific as Fuerteventura initially. We soon settled on it because of having looked around a few places. We said that can't be anywhere better. So that was the first point. The other point was that the process of achieving that goal didn't just involve buying a house in Fuerteventura. We had to organize our lives. We had to make sure our business could operate remotely, for example. We had to make sure that families were sufficiently settled that we could be that far away from them. There are lots of other things that enablers, if you like, of that goal. So obviously I'm talking about what it took to achieve that goal, which is not really the subject here. But what it meant was that when you get there, it feels fantastic. And I'm not going to knock Fuerteventura. I still love the place, you know, and the whole feel of what it was like to live there still stays with me as a great feeling. But it is quite true that within a very short period of time, we were saying, okay, so now what? Mm-hmm. And it was quite a powerful feeling. We actually made a video on the beach in Fuerteventura, which I think features on our website somewhere, if you look on our YouTube channel. And we found it was actually, I think it's our most viewed video, as a matter of fact. Yeah. So clearly it's a topic of interest to people.
Yes.
The other thing that I was thinking about when we were talking about doing this topic was, imagine you're one of those people that thinks they're going to win the lottery and then life will be fantastic after that. Now, I don't think any of you here have won the lottery, or at least not big enough win for it to me a life-changing experience. But if you think about it, they have the same problem ultimately of what do we do now? So there's different ways that you can come across this.
What's interesting to me is you described that you set out that goal to live on a sunny island, and then adjusting all and making all the arrangements for your personal and your professional life. So maybe you can talk a little bit more about how you adjusted that, because obviously that was also within a time period where maybe the internet connection wasn't as good as it's now. So that was quite challenging at that time, I can imagine as well.
Yeah, we like to think we were the first of the digital nomads, which is the current phrase, you know, right. For people who are doing it all the time.
We didn't. When
ahead,
we were
Lorrie.
when we were talking about going to Fuerteventura, when we were selling our home in Cardiff in Wales, we lived in the United Kingdom at the time. Our next step was Fuerteventura, and life happens. Both of my parents became very ill, and they were here in Michigan. And it was at the time, shortly after 9/11 had happened. And our business, like 85% of it, was United States business, consulting business. And we saw that dropping off because they were basically exporting consultancy to a business in the UK. And they were starting to pull in on themselves and asking, can we not have consultants right here in America? So we were seeing a dip off in our business at the same time. And so we sold our home. We decided, this isn't where we're staying at this point in our lives, and we'll sell. It was when the market had just hit the peak and was just tipping over the top. So we sold, and we ended up actually here in Michigan. And it was a godsend that we had that wherewithal to make those moves first, because I was able to spend the last 6 years of my parents' lives near them. And my mother even ended up moving in with us for 3 of those years. So when you have these big, giant goals and life takes you in a different direction, you just need to follow it sometimes. And that's Mike Dooley, his GPS. You need to follow that, even if you go off the road, that, your GPS will bring you back on, right? Mm-hmm. It was just such a strong, feeling that we both had. We needed to be here in America first, rather than go to Fuerteventura first. So we just kept going there for long periods of time. And we would go stay for a month. We would go stay for 2 months. And then, as you were saying, the internet was not very good at the time. And these were some of the criteria that we needed: good communications, good, transportation. It's 2 full days of travel to get from Fuerteventura anytime we need to get back here to Detroit. It's 2 full days of travel. And my mother, that was one of the other things that happened after we were there, and we were there full time. When my mother was dying, she was back here. This is after we'd lived here. She was at a point that she was ready. She was coming back to health. She was ready to go live on her own. First time in her whole life, at 80 years old, living on her own, the very first time in an assisted living. So I knew that she had help all around her. And this is 3 years on. We were in Fuerteventura and had the phone call from my brother, you better get home. And it took 2 solid days of travel, not just solid travel to get back here. And I made it before she passed. She passed within hours after I got here. And that was one of the things after we were there that started registering for us that this is for our peace here in America. It's 2 solid days of travel for us to get back here for any business, for any family, for any of that. And that became just one of the tipping points for us. And this was after our goal was achieved, right? These were not things that had happened before that. It happened after that. So, so family and life, and life happens, and where to from here was the next thing.
Yeah.
And those questions are, that the questions really came to a head probably after your mother died. That was been about 2016.
Yeah.
When there was kind of no longer any real constraints on what we did.
Children are grown; they're on their own.
The grandkids
well.
were reasonably stable and stuff. So that's when it really hits you a little bit, you know, when you've got no other distractions to say, I can't do anything different because, you know, which is often a reason why people don't do things. And that process started, well, back in 2016, I think, Lorrie, is fair to say. And we signed up with, you know, Bob Proctor. I think into results, you've had a fair bit of that, I think, from Lorrie over the last few years. And Julianne came into our life, for example, at that time. And then we also signed up with a guy called Jeff Walker to help us with online marketing. So we've been through, we started then to reinvest in ourselves, actually. We spent a lot of money and time and effort. We went to live events in, I don't know, Orlando and Dallas and Phoenix. And, you know, so we were serious about retraining ourselves for the next thing.
The personal growth side of things.
And yes, to develop the personal growth side of things, which is very much a strength of Lorrie's. It's not so much my strength, but I've lived with Lorrie long enough now for a lot of it to have rubbed off, shall we say. I mean, she does say to me, after 20 years, can't you be X, Y, Z, you know? But anyway, so I'm not perfect.
We also had Mike Dooley and Infinite.
Well, more recently, Mike Dooley, yeah,
and The Matrix.
And we're still moving in that direction. It's like the next goal. We do have another goal after this. Has been slower coming than maybe we would have liked. But you know, again, that's life. You can't force things. Sometimes you just have to go with.
The journey.
The journey
and the
know,
evolution.
The journey ends
Absolutely.
up. But the journey only is meaningful if you have some kind of destination, you know, and this is a key point of full goal setting is that
No,
if you just drive out, if you just get in your car and go out your drive, where do you go? You know, do you turn left or right?
That's my favorite bit of life.
Yeah. Just going nowhere.
No, I don't know where I'm going, but the journey is the most important bit, because if you set a goal, then everything that you pass by to get to that goal, you miss. And I used to be like that. I used to be goal oriented. And I realized that I was waiting for this to happen. I was waiting for that goal to be reached, or I was waiting until we did this. But when we do that, then that can happen. And all the time I was missing real life. And it shocked me when I stopped thinking like that. And it really shocked me to say, I think there's this American saying, you know, sit back and smell the roses or something, you know.
I love to say that.
Yeah, but it's so true. And I think from being a goal-oriented go-getter, executive, whatever I was, to becoming a carer, where the daily grind, if you like, becomes enjoyable, then for me, my only goal now is don't die before Chris.
Okay, it's a goal.
Excellent.
That's true.
Absolutely.
And it's enjoying the journey along the way.
No, but
Chris,
I really missed all of it.
Yeah, it's all about enjoying the journey along the way.
I think maybe
we're creating our own goals for ourselves. It's not a corporate goal that's being set that we have to figure out how to make it happen. This is our own goals, and it is enjoying the journey along the way.
And I think, Lorrie, it's fair to say that we've gone down quite a lot of side roads in the process. And as we all know, it's the side roads that are more interesting.
That's exactly what you're talking about, Tim.
Yep.
Yeah. And the GPS, you know, if you have a big North Star guiding you, if you want to call it that rather than a goal, then your GPS will bring you back on track and you can enjoy the journey. We bought a motorhome for just that reason. Instead of flying everywhere here in America, we enjoyed the journey, and we stopped everywhere along the way, from point A to point B, from client A to client B. And in the meantime, in all of this, we still have our 30-year business going, but it's on our terms. We create our schedule. Now, that's not to say that occasionally on Fridays we get a message saying, this is urgent. Is it possible we can have this on Monday for our, Monday board meeting or whatever it is? But we typically weekends, we don't go out because that's when everyone else is out. We go out in the week when everyone else is working. So absolutely, in complete agreement with you, Tim. It's all about enjoying the journey along the way. And because we've had our own business for 30 years, we've been able to do that. And we do it together. We've had our business, we're married, we live together, we have our business together, we travel together, we do projects together. And so we're very, very fortunate in that way. We don't live two separate lives. He has his expertise and I have my expertise in this. And that's we've had clients call us the dynamic duo, because when we come together working on projects, it's that 1 + 1 = 11. I think we talked about this in another one.
We did.
This 1 + 1 = 11, not 2.
But that means you both got your underpants over your tights.
Yeah. Yeah, Lorrie's still got a superhero outfit in a box of valuables.
Absolutely.
I understand what you're going through. I understand what you were saying before, because I remember when, as you all know or don't, as the case may be, I was married before to my teenage sweetheart, and we got together when she was like 14 and I was 17 or something like that, and we were sort of like sweethearts. And then on my 21st birthday, basically it was like, right, her father had found a house up the road that was for sale, and what about getting that and then get married and stuff, So basically, all my life, being a Brit, you see, you tend to get married a lot earlier than other countries. And I mean, in Germany, you're still in college at 30 on your third PhD, But it was the same as me, because I went and I bought this house together with my girlfriend at the time, and we got married, and I was working in a furniture store. So I was able to furnish the whole house and carpet the whole house dirt cheap and everything like that. And then we moved in and it ended up like this. What now?
Yeah.
So I know exactly what you mean by setting a goal. And then it's like when the dog catches the car, oh,
yeah.
So I do understand that. But what I'm saying is that if you're focused on that, then you do tend to miss a lot of the stuff on the way. If you look at the stuff on the way as a, what's the word? If let's say you're buying motorhome, right? Then you're going to be looking at stuff on the way. So it is sort of a goal. But most of my experiences, are good and bad, are the ones that I've least expected. So therefore, I changed my expectations. So I'm neither surprised nor disappointed in an extreme way, So I think it's a good way to rethink your life. And I've always said this now, since I've been here, I've concentrated on what I'm doing right now.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
Tim, and this is a very it's a big task and a big goal as well. And it's as we said, it's about enjoying the journey. And I mean, how many people get upset throughout the journey while working on something, or maybe you're not even really working towards a goal, but you are sort of getting upset with yourself, dissatisfied with your own self, and of course then ripples out to others. So that's always something to I find that with my own self, I love doing a lot of inner work and adjusting my own attitude towards certain things. When I set a goal, and I can feel that it's not going fast enough, then I really have to take myself back, and I have to say, okay, patience, practice patience, and it's about what we said before, enjoying the journey towards the goal, taking time to enjoy it, making time for people you meet throughout the journey, making time to stop and look at certain places, or even certain situations that feel very uncomfortable, because those situations that pop up and creep up, that make us feel uncomfortable throughout that journey, they are great learning devices. And when we then ultimately achieve that goal, at the end we're like, oh my God, that was actually that stumbling stone was actually the biggest lesson, one of the biggest lessons I had to learn in that journey, on that journey. So yes, and I do agree with setting new goals, and also asking the question, like, professional, in your business or in your work life, no matter if you're working corporate or if you're self-employed or business, asking your questions there about what can I do better, how can I improve, how can I serve better, and at the same time also not forgetting your personal life, as that goes hand in hand, and that work-life balance now in this day and age even more so, while working from home, there needs to be a lot of a balance.
Yeah, but don't forget, we're pretty privileged to be able to talk like this anyway, because we can choose a work-life balance, or we can influence the work-life balance. I think 80%, I'm guessing, but I reckon 80% of the population of the Western world are living paycheck to paycheck, and they don't have goals. So their goal is like not to overdraw too much by the end of the month. And there's a lot of that going on at the moment, that people are just existing, and so we are privileged in a way to be able to choose how we live. And then the non-Western world, they are in a totally different way. I mean, different cultures, they put different values, different weights on certain things, and I've been to a few countries, but I haven't been all over the place. But I do know there's a lot of different cultures. So we're talking here about a very small minority within a minority that is privileged enough to be able to think like that. And as long as you put it in that perspective, then we're okay. But I think a lot of people, life is foisted upon them, and if they were able to choose their goals and work towards their goals without having a boss on the back, or the waitress in the cafe, or the road digger, or the guy sweeping the streets, they live their lives, and work is something they've got to do. So the work-life balance is basically, let's get enough work that I can afford to do what I want to do. So they'll be pretty. They have to be goal-oriented in the private life, which is better than us, I would imagine.
Yeah, Chris Godfrey is saying, true that, Tim. I manage 2 trips a year to Tenerife, and I know I'm lucky to be able to do that. Yes.
That's true.
Yep.
We're
absolutely
privileged.
Yes. Guys, in the chat, please let us know if you want to say, what was one of your biggest goals that you achieved? And did you ever, or have you ever raised yourself the question after achieving that goal, what now? Because that's the topic we're talking about tonight. So Yes, Ian is back now on stage. Ian, you have been very quiet, so I give you the stage.
Oh, thank you very much. I do apologise about that. We had a sudden power outage on the site, but I think we're back again and running. Looking at it from a personal perspective, is my goal was to stay healthy and happy in my life. Part of that was the job that I took on in my life. I served my time as an apprentice electrician, and I worked just through the years. And once your apprenticeship is over, you start looking for a new goal. At that particular time, we had a company that had done mostly Ministry of Defence work, and they relocated from an airbase at Lookers into a new office environment in Dundee. It's like grasping an opportunity. I saw an opportunity there to move on to something bigger. So I set myself a goal to join the company. I worked with them for 10 years before the company themselves reorganized and just sort of had two main offices in Scotland. I was quite happy. I was happy in what I did. I was happy what I achieved so far in my life. Through that, I got an opportunity to join what the company called Major Projects, which is basically self-explanatory. So I took the opportunity and I joined the Major Projects on a large hospital project in Glasgow. Very satisfied. I was very satisfied with the way it went, and everyone round. It was a team effort. It just wasn't down to individuals. It became a team effort. The Major Project team was all together. They all worked together. They all worked to achieve a goal at the end of the project, a successful project. Through my life, as I say, I'm looking at it through a personal camera. But through the life and as it went on, I remained with the Major Project, and I finished up in London on a major project. In my eyes, it was a major project right in the heart of London at that time. It was putting in something like 20,000 IT data points at desks. Again, we were a team, but we all had different jobs in that team. At the end, we always look for one thing at the end, a successful completion of the project. But part of my involvement in that was I became a safety advisor for our company. And when you saw what was happening with the rest of the contractors, at the end of every month, they would all put a safety report in. So I set myself a goal. I set myself a goal to win the safety award. It wasn't easy to start with, but you learn through your experience and you build up your experience and take in other people's mistakes and you transform them into your own positive thinking. So at the end of 1 month, lo and behold, I landed second on the list. Very good. You get a good, and you get a wee drink. You're all taken out, and you get a wee bevy and what have you. Yes, great. So my project manager said to me, Ian, you better set yourself a new goal for a company. I want to win this. So for the next month, I buckled down and I did all the P's and Q's and everything. And lo and behold, at the end of that month, our company had landed the #1 spot. I had achieved my goal, what I had set out to do. I think, Juliana, you actually back me up on this because you've actually seen the certificate. But
Yes.
I became a very happy person. I felt at that time I had achieved my goal. And the next question was, what now?
And
basically, once that contract was finished, I came back up home and sort of joined the local project team for a wee while. Then again, I got the opportunity to rejoin our major projects for one last time. You see, you go through life and you say, well, I have to draw the line someplace. I have to stop someplace. A lot of traveling was involved in it. And I just
it's cutting off at the moment a bit, but I'm sure he's going to be back in a second. So, yes, I mean, Ian is telling us his journey, and in the chat, I'm just going to go through because some of you made some nice comments there. So let's just get through that one here. Yes, all things Tenerife and more. Hi all, Julianne, you're so right. You have to work on yourself first. My goal was to take control of my borderline personality disorder and to stop it affecting my life and those around me. Yes, I mean, it's always good to work on yourself, not to absorb yourself too much, but working continuously on yourself is good in any life situation and going through life. Johnny Watson, aka Pauline, is saying my goal was to have my total hip replacement and my hip to have the length as the other one. Yeah, that has been 3.5 years now. Okay, yeah. So let us know in the chat as well. Did you come up then with new goals? Something that kept you going, that excited you? I remember one of my goals, and Lorrie and James know that because we have been working on that for quite some time.
Many years together, yeah.
Many years, yes. So that was I was working corporate, and at that time I was employed, working in a hotel, and then I wanted to become self-employed.
Yes.
And it was a huge goal. I mean, I really did not fit in that mold at that time. Absolutely not. There was so much negative chatter from my own self, saying, oh, I couldn't do this. And then I came up with those typical things saying, oh, you cannot. oh, and when that happens, and this and that happens, yes, and we always come up with those excuses then, and they are getting in our way on that journey.
Yep.
So then when it actually started to become real and some of the steps were taken towards it, like handing in your resignation letter or saying goodbye to
I
to
remember
the
that day. I remember
Yes.
that day. It was so scary.
that was
Exciting and
huge.
scary at the same time. It's that C-type goal.
Yes, absolutely. And it was scary. It was very scary because I still, even though you do certain things, and you feel so wow empowered at that time, it's still very scary because nobody is really there to put you to fill that mold. You've got to do that.
Yep.
So you have to fill that mold, and that's why I'm talking about inner work.
Yep.
It's growing in that mold
Yep.
to fit it, and adjusting it. It's
That's right.
it's like a cake that needs to. It's like some kind of a dough that needs to go in all the little areas of the mold.
And doing that next thing that's just in front of you, that's dropping in, as Tim was talking, the serendipitous moments that happen,
Yes.
and following your intuition to go do that next thing that might not seem that it's, how does this fit with this? But there's something
Yes.
in it that is meant for that next step for you.
Absolutely.
And that's the big C-type goal, because you don't know all the cursed hows have disappeared. And you are following that intuition, and you are following that weaving journey. It isn't a straight line from here to there. And as long as you allow that space, exactly as Tim is talking, you allow that space and that meandering journey to happen, and you do the next thing that's dropping in front of you that you go, why am I feeling I'm supposed to do this? I don't know.
Yeah.
You do it.
I read something in the doom scrolling in social media, and I read something that was the universe. In the universe, there are no straight lines. Everything is vortices. And I was thinking, yeah, we do revolve around each other, and
totally.
And certain things have larger attraction to us, and we're attracted to other larger things maybe. So you've just got to make sure that you're surrounded by the things that you like being attracted to, and you should be okay.
Right. Julianne, can I share just really briefly? This is where we've evolved to, and it's very similar to what you're talking about, Tim. It's in that journey of self-discovery and the journey of personal growth, and going through the Mike Julie program, becoming certified as the Matrix.
Yes. I don't have that now to put on screen. Yes,
I'll send it to you if you want to put it in the.
Very poor preparation, Ian.
Oh, so this is the goal. Happiness. Happiness is the goal, and what is life? What does that look like? And it's creating life around that. And they call it the Fantastic Five: livelihood, abundance, health, relationships, appearance. And
well, that's the pursuit of happiness. That's the American dream.
It's living.
You're never supposed to achieve it. You've always got to pursue it. You've always got to pursue it.
Happiness is what you create. It is what it is.
No, I really think that the happiness is the what now.
And it is. It's all part of the journey.
It's an epiphany that's just arrived, was that the pursuit of happiness is always the thing that you haven't got that will make you happy. And happiness, which is, I think we found contentment which I think in a way is what other people confuse with happiness. And once you're content and you work within your boundaries, like, I mean, Christina's always said she can do anything within her boundaries.
Right.
And so why worry? You know, oh, poor Christina, she can't do this, she can't. Yeah, but look at all the things you can do within your boundaries.
That's exactly right. All the
And
things.
so I think happiness is not a goal. I mean, happiness is, for me, is the what now.
And the now. I mean, you can be happy in the now if.
I think happiness is basically a thing that you only notice when you don't have it. When you have it, you don't notice it.
Can I ask a question, Tim? I remember the story you talked about when you learned about Chris's health, and you set a goal.
Mm-hmm.
And that goal was we're moving to Tenerife. I don't know how, I don't know what, I don't know all the details, but we're going to go to Tenerife. That is what we've always wanted to do. So in a sense, you are setting goals, but they're not, they are around happiness. What is going to bring us joy and happiness in our life? And you're living it. You are just optimum living happiness every day. You're living life to the full every single day. And
I wasn't happy today, though.
You weren't happy today, though. That's another.
I can tell the story if you like, but no. But you're right. I mean, but I think what was the question? Sorry, Lorrie.
Had you stayed where were you living at the time that you moved?
Regensburg in Bavaria.
Do you think you would have as much happiness today if you were still there?
If we were still if we were still there, then Chris was the one that was unhappy because in Bavaria you have hot summers and cold winters. So in the winter she was snowbound, and in the summer she was housebound.
Yep.
And so she only had the spring and the autumn really to enjoy yourself. Yeah. And we had this big house. It was like 4 stories with an electric chair.
Just for the two of us.
And it's just for the two of us because Stephanie had gone to college. And so we were at a what now? Yeah, we were like, okay, we've got to the stage with what now? And we came here in 2012 to have a holiday, basically. The first holiday without Steph, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And we came here on holiday, and we just said, you know, if it's like this all year out, it'd be a nice goal that when I'm 65, we can come over. And I'm not 65 yet. I mean, I've got 2 years to go.
There you go.
I retired. I gave my notice in at 52, and I gave 9 months notice in Germany. You have to give 9 months notice.
Wow.
I gave 9 months notice and trained up 7 people to do my job. They were splitting it amongst other people, you know, and they still miss me.
I'm sure they do.
They do. Yes. I'm just going to go through some of the comments in the chat. So All Things Tenerife and More says, I set my goals every time I reach one. I set another. Perfect. It's what keeps me motivated. Yes, exactly. Yep. That's it. The excitement, the life juice, basically. Because if we stop, then we are we're not living. We as we always talk about this, living to live.
Yep.
Are we living to live, or are we living to die?
Yep. Exactly.
That's it sounds a bit harsh, but it actually is something to think about. Are we living to live, or are we living to die? Because when we have reached certain goals in our life, and it comes through life stages. We are children, we are adolescents, then we have our great super years where
Midlife
we are very
crisis.
productive, I guess, and then maybe retirement age, and then now what? So yeah, so that's where it still goes on and on and on. And I know Lorrie and James, you have been talking about this age goal as well. So thinking in that kind of perspective, and then that kind of realm of thinking, it gives it a whole different perspective. What goal setting can be. And Anne-Marie is making a very good comment there as well. My goal was to extend my retirement from work for 2.5 years, which was achieved. Well done. What next? To be healthy and active and exercise as much as possible to keep me as healthy and free from arthritic pain. Yes.
Absolutely.
And Anne-Marie, I mean, I know you and David, you enjoy your long walks, and another great thing I know from Anne-Marie and from David, they are very community-driven people. So they fully enjoy being great people and enjoying company of other people, which I guess also makes you feel alive and keeps you alive. And I know Anne-Marie and Neil and David, and they have that wonderful Facebook group, Tenerife and Friends. So it's worth checking it out if you are a Tenerife lover and beyond. They are doing amazing things there, putting on pictures and also doing a lot of net caring. I would say net caring, absolutely. So thanks for that. I really do appreciate all you're doing there and sharing as well. Johnny Watson says, Pauline says, my next goal is I'm on the waiting list for big toe and my other toes for fusion surgery. Yep. I mean, health is a big point there.
One tip on the fusion surgery for the big toes: don't fuse the left one to the right one. That's a mistake I won't make again.
I am waiting for fusion surgery on my wrist. I just plod on with my arthritis. I used to be happy-go-lucky before this pain. Yes, it's and Morialty as well. Let me just go through. There are so many more.
Can I share a mindset shifting exercise?
Please.
That one of the things that I say every morning when I get up and every night before I go to bed, I am so happy and grateful now that I am in perfect health from head to toe, inside out. I am fit, I am toned, I am strong. I'm at my perfect weight of whatever your perfect weight is. And I am so happy and grateful.
120 kilos.
Now that, there you go. I am so happy and grateful now that I am at my age goal of 125.
Yeah, it's the gratitude, what we are talking about, and bringing that into that present moment.
You've talked about that before, about 125. I don't want to be 125.
Happy, healthy, self-sustainably contributing.
Yes. Yeah.
There you go.
And that's that. It just puts your thought process into a different perspective of, if I lived to 125, what would I be doing differently today? What would I be doing differently in my life today if I lived to 125?
If you knew you were going to, is what you're saying.
Right.
If you knew you
Happy,
were going to.
happy, healthy, self-sustainably contributing. And it just kind of shifts your mindset a bit. And it resets every day that you're saying that to yourself. Even if you're feeling awful, that's the best time to be saying that, because you're telling yourself, you're setting that intention internally every day. I am so happy and grateful now that I'm in perfect health from head to toe, inside out.
Yeah.
Don't tell the government that, otherwise they'll put the retirement age up to 115.
Well,
Well, they'll have to probably if a lot of people start going there.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, there's people that are living to 117. They're live. They're happy. They're healthy. They're contributing in many different parts of the world.
Yeah.
So it's just all about, you know, what is my best that I can be today? What is my best that I can be today? And whatever that means for you.
Yeah, absolutely. All things Tenerife and more says happiness is relative. My needs for happiness are simple. Happiness is my partner, my children, grandchildren, the ocean, a good meal, a sunset, my art.
Yep.
It's a list of what I have, not what I haven't got.
Yep.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
Gratitude.
Appreciating and being grateful for what we have.
Absolutely.
It's a very good and powerful exercise to practice on a daily basis. When we set out for goals, it's sometimes too easy to look at what we actually are missing, not what we have got. So, Lorrie, your suggestion there is great. Being grateful, staying in that gratitude, gives you that wonderful vibe, the vibration that we ultimately want to attract.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Exactly.
And what else do we have? Okay, let's see. Chris Godfrey, my next goal is saving my spending money for September. Wow.
Going to see you in September, Chris.
And it's important to come from a place of gratitude rather than a place of want. Change from I'll be happy when I get to I'm happy that I have. Yes, exactly. Yep.
well, I have a simple comment about this. When our little Yorkshire Terrier wants some food, she stands in front of the fridge and wags her tail. Now, she's anticipating that she's going to get the food. She hasn't got it yet, but I think it's a really good example to us. Wag your tail before you get the food.
Yep, absolutely. She has so much faith. It's blind faith. She knows full well that she's going to get.
My food's in the oven now. My tail's going. You just can't see it.
Oh, wonderful. Yes. And Ray Duffy says, hi all. The coos tail again means that last in Guy fish and chips.
Oh, wait a minute, Julia. You have to do better than that.
Yeah.
You got to read it in a Scottish accent, or it doesn't make sense.
That's why we have Ian.
Hi
Can you-
all. The coos tail again means that in Guy fish and chips from Anstruther.
Good. Thank you. Thank you for the translation.
Thank you for clearing that up.
I guess I sounded like learning a new language, no?
Yeah, but I mean, it sounded better with Ian, but I still don't know what it means.
Something with fish and chips. Food.
Hi all. At the Coos Tail again. I think the Coos Tails must be a pub.
No, the coos tail is his last again.
Sorry?
The coos tail means he's the last guy in again. He's
the last in line.
Tail again. Okay.
coo's
Means
tail.
last guy. Okay.
If you think of the cow, what's behind it? Its tail.
Oh, the coo's
tail.
tail.
The coo's tail.
Okay.
So
The
Oh,
coo's tail.
okay.
It's the cow's tail again.
Yeah.
The
Means
cow's
last
tail.
guy.
Got it.
Okay.
Okay.
And then
Thank you
fish
for
and
always
chip.
translating.
Anne
Thank you.
Struther. Is Anne
Yes.
Struther a fish and chip shop?
Anstruther
Wonderful.
is a small fishing village on the east coast of Fife,
There you
Perfect.
go.
not far
Thank
from
you.
where he
So
stays
now
at
we
the
know that Ray
Fantastic,
Duffy's
Ray. Thank you
the
for
back end
sharing.
of a cow having fish and chips in Scotland.
pub. That'll do.
Are the fish and chips excellent there? That is the one thing I missed so much and I couldn't get enough of when we were just over in the UK. Oh my gosh, I missed that. There's something different about the way fish and chips are made when you're in the UK.
Yes.
Because they
something
make the batter with the beer, and you can't do that in America because it's a sort of a stigma.
You just cannot get anything like it here.
I know.
That I couldn't get enough. And
These fish and chips may contain alcohol. No fish and chips for anybody under 30.
so Ray, I'll have to find out where those fish and chips are. And next time I'm there,
Yes.
we'll be there.
Well, we were told, I remember when we were in Inverness one time with a client, they said, oh, you've got to go to Tain. Would it be Tain along that north coast? Because that's the best fish and chips. So I guess it depends where you are, doesn't it?
All you got to
Yeah.
do is follow the McMaster. He'll tell you where they are. In fact, I'm sure he's been
Yes.
for fish and chips in Michigan.
Oh,
Yep.
okay. If you found fish and chips here, I want to know.
Yeah.
I'll call Lee.
I haven't found them yet.
Well, we have come up to the hour. It's been a wonderful discussion again. And I'm going to go round the table. I'm going to start with Tim and Chris. Tim and Chris, you're.
I've got to wait
last-
Christina up. Hang on.
You're right, dearie. We want to talk to you on television.
Okay.
We want to talk to you on the television, all right?
I know.
Okay.
Well, it was just a subject I couldn't tell so much because it's about businesses and things.
I think it was more about you. I think what you've done, you've got to the stage where it's no longer necessary,
Yeah.
and that you've reached it, and the what now is live.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I think you've
And
got
look forward to your 60th. And
you
for
are
your
you're in
daughter.
Nirvana
And for your daughter coming over with the 2 grandkids.
in 2.5 weeks.
Yep.
Yay.
There we go.
Yes, Chris and
Yeah.
Tim, you are living it in the optimum. You are living it
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
utopia
Uh-huh.
realm of
There
it.
we go.
Absolutely.
That's one of them.
look,
Yay. Oh, how sweet.
she has grown a lot.
And the little lad, he's called Amari. And when they said, "What's your name?" he said, "Amari." I said, "All right, Harry." So I'm calling him Harry. And we've not met him yet, have we?
Well,
6 months old.
6
I've met him.
months.
I'm going to take you down the pub.
Wow,
We'll have a
big
couple of beers
crazy.
with Webby.
The little lad.
I know. Oh, for those of you watching, I'm not going for a walk tomorrow. I am filming a Euros special with Webby and the gang at Laura's in the village. So if you're in the village, come down and have a look and say hello to Webby. I will go live between 9 and 9:30 just to let you know what I'm doing, but I'm not going walking. And then at 9:30, Webby goes live. So
Okie dokie. Go check it out. Yeah.
I think that's my goal really, is to stay on, is to publish so much of my life online that I'll be immortal.
Yep. It's fantastic. Eh? The thing is, Tim, you don't even realize how much impact and how much you're actually doing and giving out.
I think
Good.
Contributing.
The 2 of you.
Mittlerweile, as they say, Mittlerweile.
Uh-huh.
In the meantime, a lot of people stop me on the street, and a lot of people come up to me and say, "You don't know how you helped through COVID." Get visions of my happy place is what I get a lot all the time, and I thought, well, yeah, COVID, but I mean, even now, people are sort of saying, "I'm working for the man to get me 2 weeks to go on holiday, and Teneriffe's my favorite bit." And even now, people are sort of saying they're goofing off at work between 9 and 10 to watch me walk around the village.
There
Oh
you
gosh!
go.
Wow.
So
There you go.
Webby always says that he's the mayor of Callio, wherever that is, because Brits can't say Callao Salvaje.
Callio.
He says he's the mayor of Callio, and I said, well, if you're the mayor, I am the ambassador.
Oh,
There you go. There you go. There you go.
Fantastic, fantastic.
You like me cool follow me camera, don't you?
Yeah,
Oh, that's very cool, Tim.
yeah. He always has some kind of new gadget.
Yes, gadget guy.
Always surprises us. Always.
If you want to buy one of these, it is called the DJI Osmo Pocket 3, and it is the best camera, compact, small, for vlogging you will ever use. It is really, really good.
Awesome. It's very
fantastic. Cool. Ian, what are your last words?
My apologies for the power outage again. Yeah, thank you very much for a great discussion tonight. What now? My what now changes every month when I prepare for Food for Thought.
There you go.
I'll leave you with this few words. Sometimes the smallest step in the right direction ends up being the biggest step of your life. Tiptoe if you must, but take that step. Thank you.
Oh, absolutely, Ian.
Yeah.
I love it. Thank you for leaving us with that.
And we are so happy that you took that step and are still making huge steps in the right direction.
Yeah. Look what you're doing today. Look at what you're contributing today.
Absolutely.
From where you were just as a listener.
Yep.
You were a listener on Tim's, I think. Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And now you're helping Julian produce.
Exactly. every month and throughout the month. James, I would like to hear your last words. Thanks for coming on. I mean, I really, really enjoy having Lorrie on all the time, but it has been wonderful that you could make time as well. So thank you both for that.
Well, thank you for the invitation. You didn't ask any really difficult questions. So
no, I didn't.
So I don't know if that's a relief. I was prepared with all sorts of difficult answers to difficult questions.
So then let me ask you, what was something on your list that you had already prepared that I was going to ask you and that you would like to still share with the world?
I don't think we've got enough time, actually.
That screams for another food.
That'll be next week's thrilling installment.
It means he doesn't have a list.
Next week he will.
Hey, just Lorrie and James, a serious question, a serious thing now. Every Wednesday we do balcony banter where we talk a bit about our lives and we chat to the people, and anybody can come on. So if you just go to timothydowd.com/live, you can come straight into the show and talk about whatever you want. And nobody does. Nobody does. So if any Wednesday you've got 5 minutes between 5:55 and 7 o'clock, and you fancy just going and bullying me and Chris, or grabbing your list and
do that, but okay.
I didn't believe you could be bullied, but there you go.
No, yeah, I was bullied as a kid.
You were bullied?
Oh,
yeah,
dear.
I was never this fat. I had long blonde hair and a beautiful face when I was a kid, and all the girls loved me, but because I was like a kid to them, you know what I mean? I was really
and now
annoyed
you
about
only have a beautiful face.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. No long blonde hair anymore. I do have long blonde hair, but it's all down my back.
You just can't see it.
No, but serious, open invitation to anybody listening, and you guys in
Great,
particular.
thank you.
If you're
Oh,
bored
thank you.
at 5:55 Western European summertime, WEST, and you want to come on and just say hello, you don't have to stay on for the whole hour. You just come in, give you
Pop
5
in.
minutes pontification. We shall then chat and chit chat about anything and everything, and then you can say,
thank
right,
you.
I'm off now to pontificate
Gotta
somewhere
go.
else.
Ta-da.
Gotta go. Oh, thank you for
I'd
the
love to hear your
invitation.
stories, James. I'd love to hear your stories.
Yes, James, your last words.
Oh, well, well, thank you. I didn't think we would fill an hour this easily, to be honest.
Oh,
So well done.
It goes
Well
whoosh
done,
all the
everybody.
time.
Well done.
Is there anything that you would like to say to our viewers to keep them uplifted for a whole month?
I just think you have to have a dream, actually, however small it may seem to you. Yeah. Lorrie mentioned the concept of a North Star, which is not quite the same as a specific goal. It's just like a guiding light, something that helps you decide at critical moments in life, do I do this or that? I have one in my life, but again, we haven't got time to talk about that. That's another subject. What is your North Star, as it were? You could talk about that, Ian.
Yeah.
I'll just make a note of that, James.
Your North Star, absolutely.
Until the poles flip, and then it's the South Star.
Fantastic. Yeah, Maria says, thanks everyone for all the lovely statements about this topic. It makes me look into the future in a different way. Buenas noches, amigos. Muchas gracias, amiga. Y saludos. Mwah. Yes, Lorrie,
Yes.
I would like to ask you to share your last words. Also to you, thanks for making time as you have in the past many times and again throughout this year at some time.
Yes, thank you for the invitation to be here. Thank you. Big goal achieved, now what? The now what is our next big thing. And we're only just starting to share what that is. And we're moving industry. We're moving into our heart passion. And that's part of this big goal achieved, now what? It's that going deep inside of what is our real heart passion. And it's like what you did, Tim, some of the big changes that you made, and Ian, the big changes and shifts you made in your life. We're moving into environmental and sustainability arena. So that's our next big now what. And it's very exciting. We're going to be doing similar things to what we'd been doing, but watch this space.
Yeah,
we're excited.
Fantastic. And I'm looking forward to hearing more about that in another month this year. So very good.
It doesn't matter how old you are, go for it. Whatever it is in your heart and your heart passion, go.
Yes.
Do the next.
Don't forget, there's a TEDx starting in a decade this week.
Oh, is there?
Yeah, I'll send you all the details, and she can distribute it.
Okay.
A TEDx.
Wow.
It's like a technology, entertainment, design. I think is TED, isn't it?
Yeah.
Ideas worth sharing. Yeah.
Ideas worth sharing. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it has been a wonderful session. I mean, time flies when you're having fun, right? So it's always wonderful with you guys. So yes, keep going, even if sometimes the goals seem unreachable. Growing in patience and working on your inner pig dogs, as I love to say that. It really is worthwhile doing that and keeping the attitude right towards to when you're on that journey towards the goal, because attitude, we've talked about that many times. It's not really so visible, but you can feel it. You can feel it, and you can also in the end see it. So keep going, and keep cheering, keep yourself cheerful, surround yourself with people who are cheerful, who can cheer you up, if you in that moment are not able to do that for yourself. And enjoy the journey. We're going to be live next month again with another great topic and another great guest. So looking forward to seeing you all again. Thank you and love you all. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye all. Bye.
Bye.
Ciao.
Bye.